Let's see if all of this is working. I think we are live. Let's see if this is working as well on Twitch and if everything's all right. And just a second. Okay, so we are live on Twitch as well. Let me lift. Okay, that's much better. Hello everyone, welcome to another Monday live stream where we are doing oracle cards reading, and I'm giving as well free light language codes personalized for everyone, everyone that needs. So basically this is more like I give like free light language codes, but they will be only on paper because I tend to not use my voice when I'm using light language codes and all of that kind of stuff. And I tend to not use my voice, and so most of the time I tend to draw them and write them and all of that kind of stuff. And so we have here some paper and a pen to write them down, and I also have here my oracle cards, which I'm going to go right after I'm going to give the free light language codes, or maybe we're going to do, I'm not sure, maybe we're going to do today the tarot, the oracle cards reading for the collective energy, and then maybe after I'm going to give the free light language codes. For those that are new here, hello everyone, my name is Stefania M. This is the name that I use as well as an author and as a writer. I published some books about my spiritual awakening and how that happened to me, and what was my trigger point to say like this, to put it like this. Let's hope that all of this is working. The microphone, from what I see here in OBS, everything looks alright. The connection as well on YouTube and Twitch looks good as well. And I'm going to go back and talk about, for those that are new here, what happened with the spiritual awakening that I had. So, my spiritual awakening happened around 17 years or something like that. Basically what was my trigger point was the fact that I was really lonely, and I was coming after an big depression in my life. And I was coming from a big depression in my life, I was going through healing my childhood traumas. Anyhow, this is a lifelong process. Like, you can't heal your childhood traumas overnight, and even if you have your spiritual awakening, there are still some things that maybe you will not be able to heal, and to heal them like never. I also believe that as souls, and after I had my spiritual awakening, I started having like different kinds of theories, and I've come in communication with my guides, with my spiritual guides, light beings, light entities, that they teach me all kinds of things. And so many things that I know in this life, they come from a training that I did as a soul. They come from a training that I did as a soul before reincarnating here in this human body. And as well, many of the things that I know, they come as an information from my spiritual guides. As a starting point, I didn't learn to do remote viewing. I always did remote viewing personally. I just didn't know how that was actually named, if that makes sense. I was doing remote viewing as a child, always seeing my body from a third person, sometimes, not always, and not a continuous form, but sometimes. And that for me was something normal to do, and I believed that everyone was capable of that. But then later, after having my spiritual awakening, to realize that not everyone is able to actually do that or in a natural form, and that there are many that would like to learn how to do that, and they pay so much money and all kinds of weird people. I mean, not weird in a what way, weird in a bad way, and they give all kinds of money to them for them to learn this skill, because I believe this to be like a skill that it needs polishing in time, and that everyone can actually do it, because this is a natural thing that every human has the capability to do. From what my guides told me and from my experiences, because many of the spiritual theories that I have and teachings that I also share, basically they came from my experiences and things that I've proven to myself. For an example, there are things that I was like, okay, maybe this doesn't exist, or maybe this exists, or maybe I don't know, all kinds of questions and theories and thoughts about different kind of things. And what happened is that I started having experiences related to them, trying to find experiences related to them, and to actually try to understand those processes and how they actually work. No, I'm not considering myself to be religious. I'm not even considering myself actually. I know that I use the term like spiritual person, but I don't know if I fit into that. I tend to use that term because it contains all the knowledge and all of the things that are known about different kinds of religions and different kinds of spirituality, of different types of view of spirituality. Like, it's a mix of things, and I don't tend to consider myself religious. To be part of a religion for me means to be part of a certain indoctrination and propaganda, and to actually accept and to be fed with that. Personally, I will say that I don't believe in that type of God that everyone is believing. So I don't believe in that kind of God, or I don't know, being that is sitting somewhere on a chair, in the clouds, and is judging everyone or something like that. And I also don't believe in heaven or hell, or I believe that there are certain reality anomalies and all of those kinds of stuff. And I believe that this is a very advanced science that people will still have to try to understand how everything works, because I believe there are certain questions and certain things out there that people still need to figure it out, rather than containing all of that kinds of stuff into myths and into all sorts of things like religion and all of that kind of stuff. There are many things that are happening, and people in generally, they always had the tendency to name those things like this is that, this is this, and to try and contain all of that to certain limitations. And I believe that as humans, we must break those limitations and to actually tend and try to see beyond, to try and find the answers to those questions. I also believe in science, but not this type of science that is presented to people. And so like I said, I don't feel, even though I use the term a spiritual person, I don't think that I fit in any of the standard, you know, standard stuff that is presented. There is a little bit of Taoism, if it is called like that, like being in flow and doing things the way you feel, like kind of a philosophy. There is a little bit of shamanism, maybe things with energy and those kinds of stuff. Um, but not only that, so it's a mix of many things, but I don't feel like I should contain myself in a single tiny box and call myself religious, or even though I call myself a spiritual person, I still don't believe that I kind of fit in the you know, in that type of thing. So it's it's a multi thing, if I could say like this. Also, as well, I want to say that I'm sorry for English mistakes. So English is not my first language, and sometimes I need to think really well before talking about things that I want to say, to not make like mistakes, and to try to actually send uh, the um, the message and the information that I want to present, to put out there. You know. So what is spirituality for me? Spirituality for me, like I said, it's a mix of things. Um, that depends, to name and to put tags on something, that just depends on many factors and many things. The background of that person, its beliefs, its experiences. For me, mostly it's a combination, like you said, of my experiences, of my personal experiences, and what actually I experienced in real life, you know. And not only that, but also what I felt to be real and what made sense to me. Like, I know for a certain fact that I always had like certain theories and certain questions since I was a child, and always wondering, like, and asking everyone that was around me, like, what is that, and what is this doing, and you know, things like, what is God, and why are they telling like that is God, if nobody can actually see it, you know, like. And I was asking all kinds of questions, and um after having that big depression and everything that I've been through, for me that was kind of my what is called a spiritual awakening, like that trigger point that made me realize that, whoa, we are more than this. Like, we are more than what is presented to be. We are more than a physical body, and when this physical body is gone, like, all of our existence like cease. And like, I had that awakening that there is still hope. Like, there is still hope, and there is still something to find answers for, and to keep going. um yeah. And that's about that. So after having the so-called spiritual awakening, I had to go through certain things, and to actually try and accept like everything the way it was. Like, I couldn't fight with everyone or change everyone. And since I was a child, I was always so you know, emotional, what is called sensitive. Like, there will always be things that would make me sad, and I couldn't understand, like, why are people fighting? Why are people like doing everything that they're doing? Why there are so many bad people out here? Like, it didn't make sense. And um it didn't make sense, all of that. And I tried to find like answers, like why is that happening. um and honestly, even now until this day, I believe that there are many possibilities why are those things happening. There are many so-said gurus and many that are sharing like toxic, I don't know, I see it to be as toxic information, you know, to tell people like that is happening because of you. You created that. And that is, like I said, toxic information to share in the so-called spiritual communities, to say like that happened because you created it. Like you sure about that? You created a rape, you created, sorry for my language and for what I'm saying, but you sure you created that? Like, why would that person want to create that? Even so, yet there could still be a possibility, a probability, that even though we aren't aware of it through our lenses here, because we see things in a very limited way, there is still a probability, a possibility that our soul from a higher, let's say, a higher, see things, choose that for itself to learn something. But even so, why here? Why now? Why in this reality? Like, there are still so many questions, and those things, they are so paradoxical. And for me, I don't tend to like keep myself contained to only one single perspective or single, like, the whole truth. Like, that's the final whole truth. The God is this and that. We are this and that. Like, no, there is a lot that is going on, and on many levels, and it's a lot. It's a lot, and you cannot like contain that only to something this small. Okay, so it was like that for me as well at first, when I was in depression. Yeah, when person attains the Tao, even his chickens and dogs are sent to heaven. Yeah, that's true. Now I have some closure after questioning a lot. That's really awesome. Sometimes we get that after we go through stuff, and then like we have those realizations and those things, and sometimes there is a little bit of closure, but after some time you realize like why is this. Sometimes, this happened for me. Like, I realized sometimes that why is this happening, like why is this still triggering me, and then I realize, okay, this is not the end for that. I still have to work on this. And sometimes it's really hard for us to actually accept that certain things happen to us, and to try and find the will to move from that kind of things. For me, it still doesn't make sense, like why all of the people like from my past like hurted me, even though I didn't did like nothing bad towards them, and I still trying to find the reason. But sometimes there is no reason. Some people are just working on an instinctive animalistic behavior, and that's just it. And sometimes for me it's really hard to accept that behavior, and it still triggers me, and it's still a little bit hard for me to accept. But sometimes I just go back and take a break from that, and I'm like, okay, let's step out a little bit from this, because I need to actually understand what's going on. Okay, because of free will. Yeah, free will, I believe that, and I'm not so sure, but I think that free will it's a sword with a double edge. Like, it's a paradoxical thing, because in a way I think we have free will, and in another way I don't think that we have free will, because maybe we have already chosen all of our existences in all of the other realities that are happening like simultaneously at the same time. But even so, we are rooted like we choose a part of us. We are living in a part of us that is limiting itself to only a small piece, if that makes sense. And so yeah, I don't know, it's a little bit sun vibes on earth. Yeah, that's really awesome. I really like how that sound bring the sun vibes on earth. Yeah, the sun, I feel really, personally, I feel really connected with the sun as well, even though I get like really red. I get really red skin, you know, when sitting too much in the sun, like I get really fry. I still love the sun, and I believe that, I don't know, it's like certain rays and like a portal that's coming, the energy and all of that kind of like awesome, exactly, vibe from it. And yeah. Teaching of Jesus. Teaching of Jesus, let's start from this. um I've met Jesus on the astral realm and on certain higher realms. He lives on he lives on certain really high frequency realms uh that he doesn't always like lower his energetical, you know, stuff, but sometimes he comes and visits the other realms as well. And he comes and visits the other realms as well, and I've come in contact with a part of his energy, or what was called his human form, and or maybe a projection of how I saw him to be. I don't know, but that was like really real. And he was wearing this crown, this golden crown over his head, and he had like this big aura, like this big energy field, and you could see like vibrating exactly like the sun, like having those kinds of waves, like it was like you know. And it was really awesome, and he was really kind and really like compassionate and full of wisdom and really fun to be around with and to talk with, you know. He was really fun, like we would keep like talk about stuff and make jokes, and it was something like, how are you? And I was like, I'm good, you know, and you? How was life there for you? I was like, that's good. That's good. um yeah, so it was pretty fun to actually meet him. It's not something like everyone is thinking about him to be like. Sometimes maybe he will get upset, but where he is, he still has that big ray of love and light around him, and to actually guide others. And I also had contact with um with what is called to be his earth mother, so that energy, that feminine energy. um and I had contact with him and with her as well, and she always came and helped me also in the astral realms when I had to deal with really dark entities that I couldn't fight off. Like there are certain kinds of um lower vibrational entities that they will sometimes come and attack me, and sometimes I couldn't like keep visualizing a light sword, you know, and to fight them. and and she would come and actually help me, and she was really awesome as well, and really powerful, like that divine mother energy, like protective and calm and serene, and that feminine energy, you know, that is showing lots of love. And it was really awesome, and she was really awesome, and him as well. But about this thing with Jesus, there are many possibilities about what happened, you know. The things are really distorted, and as well with the Bible is just a book that's been edited and re-edited, and And there are many things that, not to be like a conspirative theorist here, but let's be honest now, that's just a really old book that's been like, what I'm talking about. So yeah, there been like many bad people, mean people, not actually mean or bad people, but maybe that had certain intentions or certain plans to try and limit the population of Earth. Because, for an example, we were supposed to be really developed, like technologically speaking, and not only technologically speaking, but socially speaking, and with everything that is going right now, we are really limited. And the technology that they have access right now, and they keep away from the population of Earth and from the society, it's really advanced. Think about this. They had access, for an example, to holograms since like the Second World War. So yeah. So about Jesus is really cool. He's a cool guy. So it's a cool energy, and it's really awesome and really protective as well. And when he needs to step up for a soul, he will. For an example, something happened to me that uh I did some things when I was a teenager. Things that I don't know if I should talk about. Opening portals and, doing things that you don't know what you're fucking with. Sorry for my language, but doing things that you don't know that they are bad. They're bad, Yeah, dark magic. And I used to do that, and I actually tattooed. I don't know if I said that correctly, but I tried to make a tattoo on my finger with the satanic cross, and I was like around 12 years old. So I was going through, when I was like 12 years old, something. I was going through a really dark time in my life. Like I said, family and all of that kind of stuff, and traumas. And so yeah, I was bringing all of that on me, like come take this because I don't care anymore, have this because I don't even matter. And it was that kind of thinking because I was in depression, and that is my excuse. I was in depression, and in that night, after I did that thing on my finger, I had a dream. And in my dream, a really dark entity came and visited me, and it was something like, I'm here to take your soul. And I was like, what the fuck should I actually do? Where to run? Because I had nowhere where to run in that dream. And then after a few years later, after starting to heal a little bit from everything that I've been through, and actually having what's so-called a spiritual awakening, I had another dream where actually Jesus intervened, and he was sitting next to Archangel Michael, or what is called. And he was sitting next to him, and it was something like, it was really funny. And he was sitting next to him, and it was something like, I do not allow you to touch this soul. I mean, Jesus said this to the others. And there were all of those angels, like, in between us, and this space between us and those dark entities, with its leader, that dark entity that I had dreamed about when I was 12 years old. And it was like, it was really interesting to watch all of that. And I was watching towards Jesus, to what is called Jesus and its entity. I was watching towards him, and I was really small, I was like projecting myself as a child, and I was watching towards him, something like, please do not give me away. I need to stay here, please. I made a mistake when I was a child, please. And he was something like, okay, calm down. I'm not going to give you away. I'm not going to do that to you. You're going to be all right. I'm going to protect you. And it was really awesome. And the archangel was sitting next to me, next to Jesus, you know, to not give my soul away or something like that. And he was like really tall, you know, and he was really tall, and he had like this, and he had Michael, so he had this shield on him, you know, like this armor, and he was really tall, and he was something like, he was watching over me something like, oh my god, what mistake you did, child, no worry, I will protect you. And that was something like, oh my god, what the fuck did I actually done? Oh my god. Yeah, and he was watching over me, and he was watching also on the other dark entities, and he was watching towards those dark entities and its leader, and he was actually like he was watching towards them something like this, you know, like, if you take another step, something like, if you take another step, God forbid what I'm going to do for this soul, for this child, you know. And I was feeling like, oh my god, it's so cool. Not realizing what the fuck did I actually done, the mistake that I did. And it was really interesting and really awesome for me to happen that experience. And like I said, it was really awesome, and since then I hadn't any contact anymore with those dark entities. There were certain dark entities that they were trying to follow me in the astral realm, on certain realms, trying to actually figure out like, why did he choose them, like. And sometimes I have those dark experiences, but I feel and I believe that as light beings we pull certain energy from there as well to become more powerful and to protect other souls as well. Because I also used to be on both sides and saw both sides, both sides. And I believe that as a soul I'm very ancient, and I'm not saying this to brag this about me, because many times when I used to like make new friends or something like that and tell them things about me and they tell things about themselves, like many times people like will get triggered about that. Yeah, there are people that have ancient souls, yeah, so what? Like, there are people that are more ancient than me, like incarnated here. Yeah, so what? I don't care, you know. Like, I never understood this triggering of ego about that. Yeah, so what? Like, that's cool, you know. It's cool. Like, if you have like awesome love intentions over others and you're a kind person, and like, why should I get triggered about, you know? I never understood that. It's just about ego. So now let's go back in the chat and what do you think about teachings of Jesus? Did it have any impact in your life? So like I said, many of the teachings of many, not of many people, but there are many things, like I said, that I've applied them in my life. Many theories, many things that I learned from my personal experiences, things that I've channeled from light beings, and I talked about with my spiritual guides, and angels and light angels, because there are also dark angels, what they are called, like archons or something like that. It's another tag that humans use to describe those dark angels, archons, I think they're called. I hope that I said that correctly. Um, so yeah, if you were to like talk about again about this thing, Jesus and its teachings, um, not teachings exactly from the Bible, because if you open the Bible, come on, let's be serious. Everything is fire, dark, hell. You are going to burn in hell if you do this, if you do that. There is lots of propaganda, like I said. The Bible's been edited and re-edited a lot, and from many like um beings and persons that had different kinds of intentions. And there are also some other things that personally I don't want to talk about, because I don't want to get like to trigger others, because I know how the belief system works on many, and I have certain ideas and certain theories about certain things, and honestly I don't want to share them because I don't want to trigger people, and I'm trying to stay as kind as I can with all of this and chill. But let's just say that those that actually know, and not that they know, but they understand and see it beyond, they actually realize like what is happening, and if they have the eyes and the ears to see and to hear everything that is happening, they will actually understand the things that are happening beneath what is shown at the surface. So yeah, that's what I'm saying about all of this. But a positive side of Jesus, a very positive like teaching, is its kindness, its wisdom, its empathy over people. It's prone to forgiving, but also create like boundaries and stay like tall, and protect yourself and those and others from evil quote evil, because evil is a little bit, like I said, it's an intertwined thing. You can't call something evil just because you don't understand it. You have to understand it and then call it evil. It just depends on many factors. Another thing that could be associated with Jesus and with this teaching of kindness and wisdom, it could be associated with Archangel Zadkiel, because he as well has this ray of energy of forgiveness and kindness. Because in the end, what is called is that all of us as souls, we are children of God, if that makes sense. I mean, like I said, heaven and hell, they are just frequencies, and that depends on each soul. So if you are evil and you know what you are doing, you know that hurting others is just hurting others, and it is what it is, and you're doing that with knowledge, then it's clearly something that is really low, like in frequency and vibration. And yeah, Jesus showed the way. All we need to do is follow his example. Yeah, many of its teachings are good, are okay. There are some other things that are being taken to an extreme, but it is always a good idea to keep an open mind on things. I know what happened with Jesus. A master recommended some books to me. I have some theories connected with this. So, hear me out. Nobody can actually know what happened with Jesus. We as physical people, right here, right now, all we can do about the past, with things that we didn't, with times, with ages that we didn't live in those times, we can't know for sure. Everything is just a theory, something to take in matter, but do not set that in stone. My advice in general for people is always do not set things in stone. Why? Because the universe is infinite, is intertwined, there are many things in the middle. Like, you can never know for sure something, even though there might be certain people, certain person that come to you and tell you, like, believe in this. Why? Because this and that. And even me saying this, like, believe in this and that. Like, no, you don't have to follow that. You don't need to follow like anybody. You just need to follow your own soul. You don't need to follow a master, like a physical person that is incarnated here right now. You need to follow your own heart, to good, to believe in good, to be kind, to work on yourself, to try and find the answers, but don't set that in stone, because we live in a paradoxical infinite universe, and everything is just, like I said, it's intertwined, and it's really, it's big, it's a lot, and you cannot contain that into one single thing and set that in stone. Of course, we can create certain good and healthy beliefs on this pyramidal behavior to be better persons, and actually to actually work on ourselves and be better in general. But we cannot set things in stone. So it's okay to read, it's okay to listen to people on the internet, what they are going to say about certain things, but never set things in stone. This as well happened with my husband as well. He always watch others' videos, and he's staying open, and he's very open with things. But I always told him something like, you need to find your own experiences, you need to find your own path, and then see from there with which people you resonate with which information you resonate with. I never resonate with absolute truths. Like, yeah, it could be a possibility, yeah, there could be something to add to the list of probabilities that could be, but always keep an open mind, an open eye about things that could be. For me, it always happened that I started from something. I started being open to something, and then after being open to that thing, then I realized after some time that, wait a second, that doesn't apply anymore. So this thing is available? Like, no, wait a second, neither that is applying right now. So what is real anymore, and what is true anymore? Real, reality, truths, and all of that kind of stuff. They're really intertwined, like I said. They're infinite. It's a lot. And it depends, because the energy shifts, the perspective shifts, the experiences shifts, and how we are seeing things. And if you have a limited belief, if we have a limited perspective, and we contain ourselves on a certain idea, on a certain pattern, that's not anymore like helping us to expand ourselves. That's just actually containing ourselves, and that's just another religion, that's just another cult. So never fall in the trap of a cult or of a religion, because there is more than all of this. Never fall in a trap of an online guru or master or all of that kind of stuff. Always stay open yourselves, your mind, your eyes on things. we are more than this. And if you take the time to actually try and observe everything that is around us, all the information, and if we observe this and be conscious of things, we actually understand. But we don't understand to this level. We understand to a higher level of perception that we can't even actually try and explain everything that we saw, explain everything that is. It's really hard to that. For me personally, it is sometimes to actually try and explain everything and to actually make others understand, like, this and that and this and that. And sometimes my husband is something like, woman, please, I'm tired from work. Like, chill out. Take it step by step and tell me from the beginning. Because it's a lot, and sometimes even me and him, we argue in certain things, not argue in a bad way or like, fighting or something like that. No, we have like discussions in which we talk about things, and we stay open to them. But it's sometimes it's hard for me to actually explain and say everything, because it's a lot. And this is all that I can say, that people should stay open to things, because there are also tags that people give to certain meanings, to certain patterns and stuff, but they're more than that. And yeah. I'm not sorry to say that, but I know that so if they do that, just ask them. This was about that talk with the dark entities. If they do that, just ask them to go back to where they came from and tell them you love them, because love scares them away. Sorry, but I have other methods to fight those dark entities. So I'm just fiery, I'm just fiery, and I'm like, I don't have that patience with them. And sometimes I'm just like, okay, like, can you please step away, because I don't have neither the time, neither the energy to do this. And if you do this, and if you come to me and try and find me, that I'm going to destroy you, and they're like, yeah, okay, we're going to leave you alone now. I'm like, okay, bye. It's really funny sometimes. I don't have the tendency to like keep myself to the things that how others do them, how others do this in the astral, and how they I sometimes just fight them, and I'm like, okay, let's just get this over with. And but sometimes there are bigger fishes in the ocean, and sometimes there is the need of angelic intervention and archangels intervention, and even higher light beings, yeah, that are in this hierarchy, because it's an universal hierarchy that is happening around sorry, on all kinds of level of matter, energy, and realities and all that kind of stuff. Forgiving ourselves, yeah, that's a really important step, to forgive ourselves. It's helping us on many levels to forgive ourselves, to just go with the flow and stay like, you know what, just whatever, let's just dive, like just float. Sometimes we are fighting with the waves, and sometimes we should actually just float above those waves, and just have fun riding those waves. Yeah. Okay, I understand you now. Okay. Yeah. So it's really important to, if I'm not convinced only after 15 years, you could say I was open-minded, right? Yeah, after the 15 years, you could say that that was just the right thing for you at that a moment at that time. But even so, there could be something happening in your future that is proving you the otherwise. And what if that will change your belief about that? And so don't set anything in stone. Be open, and if it feels right to you, it is what it is for you. Maybe it's not for somebody else in their reality. Yeah. Maybe it's not for others in their realities, because realities are intertwined and all of that kind of stuff. So, but if it feels right for you, then it exists in your reality, then you make it real, and then it's good for you. If it's loving and that light energy and it's helping you, then keep going with all of that and that belief and that kind of stuff. Recently I saw this video. Yeah, that's about it, about love. It is a saying something like, in the past I used to read this blog from Cassidy Kane, I think she's called. But again, I think that some of her teachings as well she took from others. I don't know, she's a really interesting person. And she has this app for phone that is for twin flames. If anyone is interested, I can tell you the name of the app. We're not going to talk about twin flames today because I have like certain conception about this thing. But she had this saying about vibration and love and energy, and she was saying something like, if you are feeling like love and that is right for you, and you know for sure that is making you in a way happy, and it is the right way, then it is the right way and the right path for you, and then it's good, because that means you are aligned with yourself and with your soul and with your energy. And if something feels like it's pulling you down energetically, and that is making you feel like awful, and you feel like it's dark and it's not helping you, and it's making you sad, or it's making you feel resentful, regretful, or any kind of that feeling that is, rooted in a low level, then it's not for your path, and it's not for your own self-growth, and it's not for your own soul to actually ascend in light, in love, in all of that kind of stuff. But sometimes even certain events and life isn't always like set in stone to be always happy or always like joyful. There are certain things that happen that they just happen, and even if they, because this is what I was talking about, even if they don't have an exact reason, and even though we can't find an exact reason for them why they're happening, and those things that they are actually out of our control, and we don't have like the power to control them, like people and situations, and they just happen. then we must take the teaching from that for our own wisdom gain, and to actually understand that thing happened for us, to learn something from it, and to expand ourselves. I know there are many things that are happening in this world right now. For me, I cried many times about this planetary situation, even though I have my own stuff that I have to deal with in my own personal life. It's still making me sad. I'm really empathic, and it's still making me sad, certain things that are happening on this planet and this level. But I'm trying to do all that I can to actually help people and to inspire them, or even though maybe sometimes I'm not like in my greatest waters or something like that, but if I see somebody that is sad, or if there is something that I can help with, I'll always do. And many times it happened to me in my own personal life that sometimes I had to actually self-sacrifice my well-being for others, to help them, for them to be a little bit better. And that was, for me, it was worth enough, because in the long run, after that thing happened, I felt happy for being there next to them, even though that costed me my time, my energy, and all that kind of stuff. Seeing them happy, and seeing them they're all right, that's just what mattered for me. But then again, having healthy boundaries on all of those kind of stuff. So if that thing keeps repeating itself and it's happening again, and it's hurting you and it's attacking you and all of that, then no, you have to create like boundaries with it and just detach it from it, however hard it might seem. If there are toxic persons in your life and you just don't want them anymore in there, you just need to cut them out of your life and say, okay, that's it. Even though you might feel like sad without them, even though, like, I always used to have those fake friends before having my so-said spiritual awakening. They've never been like next to me, helping me in anything, always wanting something in return, or actually they were rooted in so much ego. And now personally, I only have my family and my husband, and I think 2 other persons that I know and sometimes talk. But other than that, there isn't like anybody else that I could call somebody that is really close to me, other than, like I said, my husband, my family, and some other people that are in my life. But even so, and even my family, yeah, it's a lonely journey. Having spiritual awakening and realizing things, it's a lonely journey sometimes. And it can hurt a little bit, it can sting a little bit. Sometimes you feel the need to talk to others, sometimes you feel like you need somebody to actually fucking helping you in things, like you can't do that by your own self, you need help, and you just have to pay others to actually do that, like moving furniture, I don't know, something like that. It was just a small example. Okay, so yes, sometimes the weather is bad and all you need to do is let it pass and not indulge in the feeling. Yeah, sometimes you just don't need to intervene. Sometimes you just need to step out a little bit and let things happen, develop in front of you, rather than be part of them. That's just consuming your energy. If you feel like that's the right thing for you to do, then do it. Then if not, then don't do it. sometimes, yeah, you have to accept. But remember that I think that sometimes acceptance is good, and sometimes acceptance is limiting people accepting their situation, even if it's a bad situation. Like, for an example, a woman that is married to a really abusive husband and is accepting the situation just because, I used to know certain women that, and they were accepting like their situation like that, and that's just not good. You don't need to accept that shit. You just need to cut it and just move away from that, because that's really awful. Sorry for my language. I sometimes talk like this. Lessons we give ourselves on a higher dimension. Yes, higher dimension. You said about the true alchemist, first helping us and then your surroundings rise. Yeah, it's sometimes this is just like a reflection, and sometimes things just happen and they're out of our control. It's what matters is our reaction to it, to them, to those situations. But if your heart tells you to sacrifice, it's good to follow it. Yeah, it just depends. Yeah, transactional friends. That's true. That's true. That's very true. A heart is intuition. Sometimes the brain and the mind, and trying to find the reason and trying to find things, and the answer is just really, it's not it. It's not it. Sometimes it will get us in more trouble than actually helping us out of it. So yeah, sometimes for me it happens something like, for an example, in last period of my life, until some months ago, I was falling again into this dark, despairing like pit, and I was again talking to my husband and telling him like, why should I keep doing that? I mean, what is the reason? Like, and then my heart and my soul was telling me something like, you must keep going. You must keep going. This is your calling. You must do that. And then I rise again, and I was keep when you start gathering, hoarding, I think it's called, I'm not so sure, when you keep objects, like you keep gather them, and they pile up, and you're like, okay, I don't have time for that, or I will keep them, maybe I will need them someday, like that kind of toxic attachment to objects and to things. And my husband was having the same issue as me, and I was feeling like really not depressed, but like really like things should stay that way. There is no reason for me to do that, to do this, blah blah blah. And until something clicked again, something happened. I was shaking myself like, what the do I even doing right here? Like, I need to change those. I need to do something about it. I need to keep the energy moving, flowing, not to pile up things and get attached to objects. Like, those things they just come and go, they're not important. What is important is our experiences here. What is important is how we spend and how we choose to spend time and our words here and our energy here and our intentions. Not gathering objects, materialistic things, and getting attached to them, thinking that maybe we need them in the future, or that what if a situation will go bad and maybe I need that, maybe I need this box, maybe I need this, maybe I need that. And like, the things that you need, they will always come at the right time for you. And things will always happen at the right time, even though we don't see it or understand it, or we are actually aware of it. Things are just happening in serendipity, in synchronization somehow. And we must believe that, because that is happening in this reality and as well in other realities, even though it's a little bit hard to quote manifest things here in this lower energy reality. That doesn't mean that things cannot be manifested. They will just come more slowly. But if you work on them and be like something like, and I'm not talking about, because many people are just using like manifestation of things and all of that for their own gain in a materialistic way. And I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about situations and experiences. And sometimes people manifest themselves certain things or certain negative experiences, but sometimes they manifest certain happy experiences, but sometimes those experiences just happen. It just depends on many factors. And for me personally, I knew that I couldn't manifest things anymore, because I was keeping myself so limited in that space of getting attached to objects and all of that kind of stuff. And then I realized that I need to detach from them, and I started donating them. Like, I don't even have so much clothes right now because I donated things. I like to donate things. I like to give away things, and I like to. And sometimes my mother will be like, "Why do you give those away? Keep them, keep them. You need them in the future. What if you do a baby? What if something happens and you need?" And I'm like, "Don't worry. Why worry? Like, worries keep us in a low frequency vibration state and keep us limited. The things we must understand and know that the things that we need the most, they will always come by when we actually need them at the right time." I was always put in situations that I thought that, okay, this cannot resolve it. There were certain situations in my life that I didn't have, me and my family, we didn't have like money to buy food. We didn't have any food. We didn't have money to pay our bills. That they will come and cut the cables, and we didn't have like electricity or something like that. And it always happened, something always happened to turn the situation upside down and to actually resolve that and to actually make it right. And somehow those things always resolve themselves by themselves. And from those experiences, I know, and I'm sure of it, that the things that we need the most, even though we are not aware of it and we don't see it right now, and even though some are maybe in a bad spot, something will happen. Something will happen. But first, we must give something away. This is how energy works. You give something if you have something to give, and then something returns. And I always manifested situations and experiences like that, which makes me wonder, maybe sometimes I manifested certain negative experiences as well. We are humans and we learn from all of this, because from those things we grow and we expand ourselves. Yeah. Brain is stupid when going solo. The heart needs to work through the brain. Yeah, true. Another dark night of the soul. I don't know if it could be called like that. Another dark night of the soul. For me, my dark night of the soul was my experiences with the stuff that I did in the when I had depression. I had some attempts, if you know what I'm talking about, if you guys know what I'm talking about, because I don't think we are allowed to use those words here, because this live stream is as well on YouTube. And I had some attempts, many attempts actually, and for me that was the dark night of the soul, trying to find the will to actually keep going, to find the will to keep living, to know and understand and to feel and to believe that there is hope. And now I come from all of that with more understanding towards people, with more compassion. Many people are just judging others, something like, he does this or she does that because, and they judge others, and they're really egoistical, and they're really thinking about themselves like they are greater than them. And they are not. Some people, and I have lots of compassion for those that are going through stuff like that, because it's really hard, and it's a battle that you need to fight it by your own self. Like, you need to fight it, and you need to win it by your own self. You need to understand and to fight that by your own self, not with the help of some pills, not with the help of others, no, you need to find the will in yourself to keep going, to find the reason, to know why you are doing that. Because otherwise than that, like, there will be many situations in which you'll be lonely. There will be many situations in life when you'll have maybe nobody. You'll have to just do things by yourself. Sorry. You'll have to do things by yourself. You'll have to fight things. You'll have to go through all of that. And sometimes it's really hard, and I know that. I've been in that position. I've been in those shoes. And sometimes my husband is like, why don't you let me do that? Like, you're not a man, I'm a man, I should do that for you. You don't have my muscle to move that furniture. You don't have those muscles to, like, do that, this. And I'm like, I've been through many situations that I had to deal with those, because there's been, like, nobody there to help me. And you need to be strong and to fight with those, to find the reason to actually keep going with all of that. And having my spiritual awakening and connecting with angels, with light beings, with archangels, meeting Jesus, meeting lots of, like, awesome light beings and entities out there, he gave me the reason to actually keep going. Like, why should I do this if I know that after all of this mess will end, like, I will go back in that awesome place, and I'm going to be connected with those awesome beings, and it's really awesome, It's really awesome. Yeah. And sorry, I'm trying not to tear up about this thing, but it's true. Many are just losing the will, because they don't understand that we are more than this. And many are doing that because they need to find an escaping way, and this is the so-called the easiest way, even though it's not easy to try and do that. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. It's not easy to do that. It needs a great strength to try and do that, because and it's not fun. And those that are judging others for doing that and for, you know, like treating them shitty, like no mercy for them, dude. No mercy for them. They need to feel that on their own someday. And I don't know, I don't have the answers to everything, but I hope that they will feel the same pain that those felt. Justice for everyone. Yeah, so let's read a little bit the comments, the chat. Hoarding, yeah, that is what I was doing. Sorry. Objects become heavy. True. Hoarding is symbolic for not being able to let go. That's very true. That's very true. This is happening as well to another family member. She keeps on things and she piles up things, and no matter how much me and the other family members are trying to help, it will not understand. And yeah, sometimes we need to detach and let it be, certain things. Divine timing, yes, divine timing, synchronization, serendipity. Yes, I understand, and I understand others that are going through those things, and I have compassion, and that's why I'm trying to also raise awareness with all of this and to share my experience, even though those things can, like, it isn't the cup of tea for everyone. Like, some people, maybe they need something else and they don't understand this at all, they don't want this at all, they find it to be like a cult, or they find it to be, I don't know, and maybe they want something else. No matter what, they need to know that they need something to keep going. No one is better than another. That's very true. That's very true. Even though many are saying something like, oh, the life of that person is so easy, like, if I were to be that person, I will do this and I'll do that. I'm like, no, you wouldn't, like, you couldn't. Why? Because everyone has their own battles at their own level, and it's not cool, it's not okay to judge, to think that you could be better. Like, did you try to even resolve your own mess in your own life before actually trying to judge others that you could do its job his job, like, better than that person? Like, have you tried to resolve your own stuff before doing that? No, then shut up, please. I'm like that, you know. Yes, what is also important when sharing experiences is that you do it. Yes, I also have some types of moral views over certain subjects, again, that I don't want to talk about. For an example, I believe that certain people that are doing certain crimes on earth, hurting others in certain ways, if you know what I'm trying to say, should be punished more hard. Why? They should pay more um because because they need to do that to atone for for the things that they did. And and before they could perpetuate the cycle and reincarnate, or just maybe there is a probability, a possibility that if that person is punished like really badly for what they did, maybe they will try to understand as a soul and then rise in the frequency. Maybe, I'm still not sure. It's a possibility. Yeah. Others' thoughts can affect you and their actions over you, even though some people may say they are not, even though some people may say that they are not like affected from what somebody said or did to them. Every action towards another is just is something, even though, you know. Yes, and who are with us in the path of another. That's true. Maybe, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? There are souls and souls, and the number of people that are here on Earth, it doesn't compare with the souls that are everywhere, and the beings that are everywhere on all kinds of planes of realities. It's infinite, you know. There are lots and lots of entities that have different intentions. Rudolf Steiner, okay. I'm gonna search that book. Let me search it. Now I'm curious about it. Let me search it on the internet. Yeah, all the frequencies of existence. That's true. Books, okay. Okay. I still have some piles of books that I must go through. I'm having so many things to do and my schedule is full. I tried to like do more live streams on Twitch and on YouTube and do more things, and I'm also trying to find the time to actually write on the book that I'm working on right now. And I have lots of things, so it's okay. I like to be recommended books. I'm really curious about things, and I'm keeping an open eye, an open possibility about things. And I'm gonna search it. I'm gonna write it in the notes. Okay. Yeah, I also believe that certain things, like I said, they happen at the right time, and no matter how much you're trying to force them to happen, they will happen at the right time. And even though, for example, I didn't had like the time to actually work more on my book, it's happening at the right moment, divine timing, synchronicity. um Sometimes it's better to keep, like I said, sometimes, always it's better to keep things in flow. And um sometimes I don't get that much inspiration, but we'll see. We'll see. I also had this interesting dream today. I had a nap today and I had this dream that I was working on another book that was about channeling and connecting with an entity, with a light being. It was really interesting. And are you guys curious about the dream that I had? It's really interesting. It's really hot here. It's summer. Uh, yeah, personally, I sometimes see the certain possibilities of the future as well. And for an example, today I dreamed about, it was like a really instant nap because I was really tired, and it was an instant nap. And I started dreaming instantly, and it was those, like those big rockets coming from the sky, but I knew they were like aliens or something like that. Like there were those extraterrestrial beings, but they were like rockets. And I was watching them on the sky, and I was dressed in this, like, I was dressed in all black. And I don't know, I wonder if that has like any meaning at all. Or maybe something connected in my real life, or maybe, I don't know. Um, it was interesting anyway. And there were those realities that I was seeing. It was like different realities, different form of realities, and I was seeing them like I was watching through some, like, through some uh like a big screen, but that big screen was splitted in more parts, smaller parts, and I was watching through them, and suddenly I was in one of those realities that I was watching, and I was talking with this woman suddenly, and I was telling that woman, I'm not from this reality, I'm from another reality, I'm from another dimension, I'm from another space and time. And she was watching told me something like, you are nuts, you're crazy, like. And I was like, no, hear me out. I'm gonna tell you what is going to happen, and you must believe me, because there isn't much time left, and you need to come and follow me to another reality, because I need to save you, or something like that. And then I waked up, and I was like, that was really interesting. And sometimes that happened to me, connecting with other beings, other entities on other realms, and telling them, I'm not from this reality, I'm from another reality, I'm from another dimension, I'm from another time and space, and they will always be something like, you know um yeah. So I forgot to mention that I'm giving free light language codes. Hello, Clipsy. Everyone, Clipsy is my husband and he's a moderator. um, so I forgot to mention that I'm giving free light language codes written on the paper. They have like general intention, and they are meant for directly for your soul. Not speaking light language here in this body because I don't resonate with that. I only resonate with writing them and drawing them. And yeah, and I'm giving away those. They have a general intention specific for everyone and their needs, for each soul needs. And it could be for something in their life, it could be something connected with this reality, or maybe with another reality, or maybe with their soul. So yeah. So if anybody needs and wants or want a light language code, I'm giving away. I'm giving for free those light language codes. I will just draw them or write them, and also maybe a channel message. And I'm going to upload those as pictures on my X profile, and then they can be downloaded from X, and they are going to be available for 48 hours to be downloaded. Okay, so it's just Rudolf Steiner was an initiated and a scholar. He opened schools that are around the whole world. Okay, interesting. I've heard about Rudolf Steiner. I'm not so sure. I've read many books. I'm not so sure if I read books from him. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've read so many books. Certain things stay with me. Certain things I clear some boxes and I keep them away to make enough place for other informations and for the astral experiences. And there are many things that are going through my mind, my brain, and I'm trying to keep things open to have enough space. Yeah. So, do you guys have visions about possibilities, probabilities of the future? For me, sometimes those happens like flashes, like light flashes through my eyes and effectively through my brain, and they happen so rapidly and so, like my head starts hurting and my eyes start hurting, and I'm starting to be like really sensitive to the light. And I think this has to do with with the what is called pituitary gland, the third eye, or what is called. And sometimes those visions are so yeah, no, I mean like couple of months in the future, the next day. They are probable, possible, like stuff of the future. So that depends, or maybe even from other realities. It happened to me, but they didn't happen like it happened to me. But some things they didn't happen like, but it happened in other realities. It's just like those moments that you feel and and you have this vision that something is going to happen, and then like like what is presented in the movies, and it's really funny, and it's like that crazy person, you know, they're presenting that type of crazy person that is like into spirituality and all of that kind of stuff, and they're saying like the world is going to end, like, you know. And in movies, and showing like those people with bankards, you know, like with texts, and they hold this and something, there's something like the world is going to end and uh, all of that kind of stuff, and they're telling like this is going to happen, and um, the resurrection of Jesus and all of that kind of stuff. Um, and sometimes those people, they might be right, but they see things from another reality, and they treat those persons to be like crazy, but maybe they're not. Maybe they actually see things that others don't see. Like I said, judging others, how others are judging others. And yeah, maybe those people are seeing certain things from other realities and all of that kind of stuff. So it just depends. It happened to me some time ago. I was in town, and I was taking a walk with my husband, and behind us there was this old man. It was dark, you know, it was after 8 or something like that. It was winter, it was after 8, so it was dark outside. And there was this old man behind us, and he looked like he was living on the streets, you know, and he was dressed in those clothes. And he had this big beard that was reaching like his belly, you know. And his bird you know, was really like white and grayish, and he looked something like Gandalf. And I could feel another energy, like he was not from here, like he was not from this realm, and like he was from another realm, and he was taking that form to actually observe us. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so that happened to me. There are certain people that look like normal people, but they are not. They're not from here. They are from another time, or they are from another reality, or, you know. And there will be those that judge those and say that they are crazy or stuff like that, but they are not. Maybe they see things that, and see and understand things beyond others. Anyhow, any person that is going against the system and against the stuff and is saying other things that the system is used with, they will be anyhow treated and criticized as being, you know, crazy and all of that kind of stuff, which is not cool, because that used to happen in the past as well. And just imagine Nostradamus talking about the things that he talked about and the things that he did back in the past, and how people like treated him, you know. Okay. So, okay, only some few seconds in the future. I wonder, do you guys go through this as well? Sometimes, for me personally, sometimes it happens, I see some things in my dreams, or have some flashes of images. Sometimes after I forget about them, but then those things actually happen, and they manifest, and they actually happen in this reality, and they get like deja vus Does this happen to you guys? Sometimes it can be a little bit scary, like when you're not aware enough. Okay. Yeah, that's true. It's interesting. It could be a possibility. What if there are other realities just like this one, just exactly like this one, only very 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 small things that are changed and they're different, and they are like parallel to us, and they're happening and going in the timeline simultaneously just like this one, and we see things from there but not from here, and then it's happening our deja vu that we have here, but it's the thing is happening in the other realms, in the other realities, if that makes sense. Could that be a possibility? I mean, I think so, right? Yeah. That's true. It's a lot. It's a lot to dig in. The astral realm. The astral realm, it's really, it's big. I had so many experiences in the astral realm. I used to have like astral realm projection like every day. Then something happened and I got through some stress in my life, and then the frequency of astral projection like lowered itself. Sometimes the astral projections happen as well when the body is ready enough and it's open and relaxed enough. Yeah, everything is fluid and it's happening at the same time. So let's say something like time doesn't exist, in generally speaking. It's more like a tool, but again, that's a deep, complex subject. So I asked you guys about light language codes. So is there anyone that wants a free light language code that I can write right now or draw or anything like that and publish it on my X profile as a picture to be downloaded? Raise hands if somebody wants a light language code. Okay. It's not about the right or wrong person. If you feel like you need one, it's about what you're feeling. So if you guys feel like you need one, I can write a light language code or draw a light language code and give with the intention that your souls need the most right now. It is the intention that matters. You can write like even gibberish, and you can write like it's the intention and what you are giving with your energy that matters. So if you guys feel like you need, I'm going to give. Otherwise, we are going to go and do the oracle cards reading. So other than Lumpa is purpose. So just a second. Sorry, it's really hot here. 30 degrees or something like that. So the purpose of light language codes and the light language codes that I want to give, it's very simple. It's for what you need. So souls and energy, they work more than on another level, on another perspective level of perception than us humans, like we said. And it's for what you need right now, for an example. So what your soul feels it's for right now, it's intended for right now. So Lumpa, I'm going to need a number to associate with your username, any number that you feel connected with. Okay, and others as well. So who wants a light language code? Write a number right now, a number that you feel connected with. Any number. Okay, so 77 and 42. So from now on, when you are going to see this number, you are going to associate with the fact that is for you and is for you and your username, okay? Because I'm not going to write the username on the next on the light language, and I don't like to ask for personal names. We are not going to work with personal names or personal information or anything like that. So we're working just with that numbers and certain things that you guys feel connected with. Okay, and 42. Just a second. Okay, number. Okay. So now I'm going to need something that you feel connected with, an object, a crystal, a name, something that is associated with you and nobody knows about, only you, and is connected with you, that you feel connected with. I don't know, a color, a tree, a flower, a type of flower, a type of, I don't know, type of planet, a type of solar system, I don't know, anything that you feel connected with, because I need to connect with the energy. So I'm going to wait for that. Anything, it can be anything, just a crystal, I don't know, a type of crystal, a type of color, a type of animal. Okay, sea turtle energy or green. Okay. Okay. Sea turtle energy or green. Okay. It's going to take a little bit, a few minutes, okay? Five minutes at tops for each code. That's interesting. Where should I place this? Like I said, this is going to take a little bit, so don't go anywhere because I must finish this code, those codes. Okay, that's it for number 42. So, number 42. I don't know if this can be seen. I'm going to, like I said, make it look a little bit better, and I'm going to make it a picture and upload it on my X profile, where you can download it as a picture, and you can save it. And then I recommend, after I upload it on my X profile, I recommend it for it to be downloaded and printed. You're welcome. So I'm going to work a little bit on those later and make it look a little bit better. And like I said, I'm going to make a picture of it and upload it on my X profile, and it can be downloaded, and then I recommend it to be printed and then place somewhere, I don't know, place somewhere near you, or place somewhere near your bed, or somewhere near you, near your energy. Even so, it really doesn't matter where you place it, because it is done. The code is done and it's activated. 42. Now let's go to 77. Equal cross in the middle of a triangle. It's a symbol. Okay, let's see if I can make this. So equal cross in the middle of a triangle symbol. 77. Okay, 77. Are you connected with the, what is called? I forgot what it's called. You know, when so suddenly I remember of this dream that I had of this building with columns, like in ancient Greece. Atlantis, I think it was called. I don't know. So, Klepsy, if you are here, please help me out. It's Atlantis or Lemuria? No, Lemuria, I think it was... I think Atlantis. Sometimes I you know. Okay, 77. I'm gonna write the code right now. Yeah, no, Atlantis, for sure. Atlantis, you are there. You are in Atlantis. I know, for sure. You are there. You are connected with it. And that's really awesome because I see something connected to math, like creating buildings and architecture based on math. They see the codes to be really, everything is straightforward and really in a logical, systematical way. Something connected with the pyramids as well, with the construction of them, or something connected to them. I don't know. I'm not so sure. But the codes are very like in a mathematical way. And everything is really like circuits, like electrical circuits and grids, and if that makes sense. You will benefit a lot from crystals that have metallic things, or maybe copper. I don't know, like a metallic connector, or maybe gold. It's really interesting. Okay. Have you ever felt connected with certain architectures from certain places on Earth? Something like something like ancient writings. I don't know, certain ancient technologies and how they were created, because I feel like you are connected with those in this life, and somehow, because you remember that you created some of them, or you helped their creation in your past lives, in your job, in your lives. I mean, those lives are happening at this now moment. All of those realities. It's really interesting because I see all of those symbols and buildings, and I don't know, keep hearing the word architecture. Okay. Okay, that's it. That's it for 77. There were all of those kinds of lines and dots and or maybe you will feel really connected with an what is called, let me search it right now on the internet. Organic pyramid is called. Yeah, so if you don't have an organic pyramid, I recommend you to buy one. So you need an organic pyramid with an amplifier made something from copper or on wires, on metallic wire, something to amplify all of that energy, and you need that. I don't know why, but that will help you. And that will help you connect with that information that you need. Also for number 42, with the sea turtle energy, you're welcome. For number 42, basically you need to connect with, because I know this is going to sound cliche, because you said sea turtle energy, and now something like, I'm going to say that, but you need to connect with salty water, if that makes sense. You need salty water. You need salty water to actually help you in making things more clear and straightforward in your life, like, to see if that makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, and like I said, I'm going to make those codes look a little bit more fancy. And I'm going to picture them later, and I'm going to upload them on my X profile, and where you can download them right there. Yeah, it's also connected with our intentions, like I said, so not only maybe to wash away the energies, but also maybe something else. That depends on what that person is. Lumpa. Yeah, okay, with those codes being drawn, written lol, I'm going to use the oracle cards to see the collective energy for this following week. And for today, for this Monday, I'm going to use the Soul's Journey from James Van Praagh, I think it's called. Diana Cooper Angels, Shamanic Healing from Michelle A. Motoise. Yeah, anyways. It doesn't matter. Shamanic Healing Oracle cards, and the Moonology from Yasmin Boland. And I'm going to use this awesome Oracle card deck, Golden Lenormand Oracle. I haven't been using this in a while. This one was between my first oracles that I ever bought. I don't know why, I feel really attracted to this, and I'm going to show you why. Just a moment, try and open this box. First of all, I really love the box. It has this color and those stuff. It also has this red string right here was a little bit expensive. And generally, I tend to buy oracle cards from other shops, even though some are not original, because they cost lots of money, and let's be honest, yeah. Okay, and I'm going to start with the Lenormand Oracle card Oracle, and I'm going to show you why I like this so much, because it has those supposed to be baby angels, but they don't look so baby. They look like, you know, those pictures with painted angels, painted baby angels, that they're supposed to be babies, but they look like grown-ups, like grown-ups, and they look really ugly. Those Renaissance pictures, sorry, paintings, and they look really, really awful. But those ones aren't so bad, to be honest. They look okay, I guess. They look kind of cute, and I liked it because it is with angels, and I like those images. It reminds me of a place that I've been, of a place that I can call home, you know. I don't know. I can call home that place. Yeah, and I'm going to use this one to see the energies for this following week. So I'm going to shuffle this one. Okay, that's a little bit weird. We have the 3 and the snake, 5 and 7. And I don't know all the combinations. It's a symbol for how pure being a child is. It's what we all need to come back to. That's so true. That's really well said. That's really well said. I always felt like that. Even though I'm going to grow old, I'm always feeling like a child. I'm always feeling like a child inside. Yeah, we have 5 and 7. And let's see the combination, because I don't know all of the combination between the Lenormand Oracle cards. I'm not using them daily. Very rarely I did the Grand Tableau. Card 5. You could interpret them from the pictures themselves, but they have their own meanings, and sometimes... Yeah, so the 5, the 3 is associated with health and physical and mental, life growth, well-being, medical issues, ancestors, and patience. Very slowly, timing. And 3 and snake, we have could be a wrong diagnosis. Because this interpretation, we need to make it for a planetary situation, planetary energy for this following week. I think, and I feel more like I feel than I think, that this is connected with how certain leaders from this planet are actually treating things, tagging things not in a right way, if that makes sense. Like, they are thinking like this could be about that, like this could be about this, so like this could mean this, and then we should do this. But instead they are misjudging the situation, and it's not what they are thinking to be, if that makes sense. And so because of that, they are moving really slow. Things are developing really slow, moving at a really slow pace this week. Not much is going to happen. Interplanetary, interplanetary, oh my god, what did I just said? Interplanetary, oh my god. Yeah, maybe even interplanetary. Things are going to move really slow. Sometimes we say things even if we don't mean, or like not in that way, like we don't mean. Sometimes we say things that we're not thinking so really well about the words, but sometimes intuitively we say what we actually should say. And yeah, interplanetary, this could be interplanetary. This could be interplanetary, I guess. I don't know, who knows. But I feel mostly like this is a planetary situation in which world leaders are basically misjudging the general situation, and they're afraid to make decisions, rush decisions, because of the results and the impact that they will have. And they have all the right to do so and to move really slow, because we don't want other things to happen, if you know what I mean, other than the things that are already happening on the planet right now, if you know what I mean, what I'm talking about. I tend to avoid those subjects, but here I am talking about them. Yes, I'm talking about the war. I'm talking about all of those kind of stuff. Those needs to be avoided for conflicts to expand. Those need to be avoided. Why? It's crazy that I put 5 and 7. Yeah, not only globally, but the cards were pulled with the intention of the overall collective energy for this week, and also planetary. So it was something general. Why are you saying that? Sorry, why are you saying that? Like 5 and 7. You won't find this on the web, but there are 57 universal laws. Oh, interesting. There are new things that I find every day. Interesting. That's really interesting you said that. And maybe this is connected as well with the interplanetary, the word that I said. Maybe aliens will come finally. I don't know. But if they are Pleiadians, I'll wait for them with my arms open. If they are blonde and have blue eyes, sorry husband. And they have really developed technology, I'm out. I'm out. No, I'm joking. I'm saying I'm married. Or maybe I'm not joking, who knows. I don't know if Klipsy is watching this. Yeah, maybe only those that are allowed. I think there are many like stations in which many alien races like stop, come, some visit, some stay, some, but maybe some of them they need approval. There are many that have different intentions. over this planet. So there are many beings, like etherical beings, like aliens, like humans, like so many souls and so many, you know. Yeah, okay. Let's ask for some clarification. What is happening planetary this week? And collective energy and all of this. Let's ask the angels. What's going on? Those are so many, are too many. Come on, just one or two cards, that's it. Not the whole pack, please. Okay, this doesn't happen so often, you know. Oh my god, you guys won't believe this. Oh my god, you guys won't believe this. What card I just pulled. Oh my god. I don't know if this can be seen. Can you guys see this? Is this focusing? Okay. I don't know how should I place this to be seen. Can you guys see this? What is writing right here? What I just said earlier. Slow but steady. We have slow but steady. Like, can you guys see this? Because I can't believe this. Like, oh my god. Slow but steady. Like, is this for real? Wait a second, because two cards are on the ground and I must pick them up. Just a second. Okay, this is really weird. This is really weird, but we must understand what's going on, because this is really weird. We have anger and we have abundance, but as an outcome we have slow but steady. Just what I said earlier. Oh my god, just what I said earlier with the Lenormand Oracle cards. Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. Didn't I said earlier that slow and steady? Didn't I said earlier that things are going to move slow, and then this card is popping out? Like, what? Yeah, that's really weird. And with anger and abundance, what could this mean? Moving slow but steady. That could mean that we are moving in the right direction. But the anger, there are many that, it's like, many feel this pain like this sting. Like this is stinging, like a bee. Because here in this anger card we have a bee with a big needle, you know, like. And I feel like even if the war, and even if those wars are going to stop very soon, like even this week that could happen, I feel like there will be those that are really resentful, like they wouldn't care even if that stopped, because they are feeling really, they have lots of anger. Even so, we are moving in a more abundant direction, planetarily speaking. So maybe the taxes will go a little bit lower. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about that. Okay, let's just make some clearance with the monology cards. I feel like it's so much energy, because with this anger, like they're trying to keep holding it, contain it, but they can't. It's like they try so hard to contain that anger, that energy, you know. But people did nothing wrong to them to be hurted in those ways, to be attacked for no reason. I don't know what's going on. No, the whole pack, please. We have two cards, and we have balanced spirituality, because I felt like really called to pull those two. And I think we also have this one from here. Yeah, now it's making more sense. So we have three cards. As an outcome card, we have confidence is your key to success. And for the other cards, we have balanced spirituality and practicality. You are very close to achieving your goal. I believe that, planetary speaking, and as an, I don't know, as a collective form of energy, it's about energy here. It's about like a pool of energy, because we have those two fishes. We have full moon we have full moon in Pisces, and it's like those two fishes that are swimming around each other's tails, and they're trying to follow each other, but they can't catch another. And I feel like many, they do not understand each other. Maybe that's why also the anger between those countries, the anger between people, they don't see it. But even so, I believe that, and I feel that we are moving really slow towards the direction that we need, planetary speaking, to achieving maybe even a lasting peace finally between countries. Yeah, let me put this back. So not much is going to happen this week, because we have slow but steady. Not much is going to happen this week, even though it might look like not much is going to develop this week. That doesn't mean that things aren't moving. They are, but there are other things that are beneath it, that are happening behind the curtains. Certain people and certain situations that they are working for humans. To bring them what they need. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. I thought about it for the first time in like years earlier today. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Okay, let's see also with the soul's journey what cards we'll have right here. Empty. Okay. Yeah, there is also wisdom here, because it is something that it is to be gained from this. The question is, will they see it? Will they actually understand it? Because I feel like they will be so close to it, and yet it will fall between their fingers. Because with this card right here, with this moon, you are very close to achieving your goal, it says right here. And it is this moon, and there are those trees, you know, those trees around here, around the moon. And I feel like those trees are pointing towards the moon, something like, look towards it, see it. But, like, it's right there. And they don't see it. They will refuse maybe to see it. Like, everything is pointing in that direction. Okay. Anyway, not many things are going even so. There will be not many things that will be shown to be happening this week. It might be something like, exactly like slow but steady, like people aren't seeing it, but things are happening. Things are happening in the background. Developments. Okay, let's see with this one as well. And then after that, I'm going to use the Angels Oracle to see the message. Guidance. This is what I feel to say. Guidance, fear, success, and love. Ha! Ha! That's so funny. That's so funny. That's so funny. No, this one is not connected. I don't feel it. I don't feel it connected. The envy card, no. It's so funny because we have fear and we have love. And fear and love, so those two cards are basically just it. Like, this is love and this is fear. And love is the opposite of fear, and fear is the opposite of love. So there are those that live in fear, and there are those that live in love. And they intertwine in each other. And basically it's just it. I realize, it says right here, I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. This is saying on the card of fear. This is saying on the card of fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. And then we have the card of love. To clear this fear, we need love. We need to bring love into this equation. To bring love to actually heal all of those wounds. Because there will be lots of wounds. There will be lots of tears to be cried. And people need love, not more anger. They're feeling anger because they feel like this is not enough. Like, they need more, they want more. But they must understand that this is not what they want. This is not what they need. What they need is actually love and compassion and understanding into healing all of this. Not living in anger and in fear, because when we are living at that frequency, we are experiencing a really limited behavior and life and pattern. When we are rising from that, we are rising in love, in understanding, in compassion, and we see things at a much larger perspective. And then, as an outcome, we have the card success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So, see how those things are connected? Do you guys see how those things are connected? As an outcome from the card's fear and its opposite, love, we have the outcome success, which basically is reaffirming what I just said earlier. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. This is the answer. This is the answer to it. Love. Love will heal all of those things. Sharing love, being compassionate and understanding, and trying to accept that it is what it is, and that's it, and you must keep moving. Slowly but steady. Just like we had earlier. Slowly but steady. And as a message from angels, from the oracle cards from Diana Cooper, I really recommend those oracle cards from Diana Cooper. I really wish I had more money to buy the original cards, and because she's a really nice soul. I really like her energy and her vibe, and she's a really nice lady. And her books are really wonderful, and I really recommend them. As well, I recommend the blog Cassidy Kane, I think it's called, has, and I recommend her app if you guys are into twin flame stuff, and maybe not only twin flames. I don't use it just for that purpose. I use it mostly for daily guidance. And she developed this app in which, for phones, in which you pick a card, and it's a free card in 24 hours. So daily free card with a message that you pick a card and it will appear. It's really interesting. So if you guys want to know the name of that app, this is not for making an ad to those things or to those people. I have no affiliation with those people, so don't understand me wrong. This is just from my heart of sharing those information, and because I really like and I really resonated with their works and with their stuff. So the app is called Twin Flame Cards, just like that, Twin Flame Cards, and it has an icon with something purple. So I don't only use it just for that, twin flames and stuff. I use it mostly for daily guidance and stuff like that. So like I said, I don't have any affiliation or anything with those people. I don't know them personally. I never spoke to them, and I just like their work and their energy, their vibe. It's really awesome. Okay, so let's see for the oracle cards, angels, the message for this week. Not the whole pack. Sometimes all of the cards, they tend to fall from my hand. Gratitude, and there is one more that needs to appear. and we have surrender. So what better cards to end this oracle card reading than those two cards, gratitude and surrender. What better two cards? Basically just it, gratitude and surrender. We have all of those kinds of things, but if you don't surrender, nothing is actually achieved. You may think something is finished. You might think that you ended that thing and then that's it, it's done. No, it's not. Not until you surrender. Everything, it finishes, it completes itself with surrendering itself, with surrendering yourself. Acceptance doesn't come only with acceptance, but it comes with surrender. And we must surrender to the fact that people need love. People need love, and they need to know that there is love, and in that it is a success. There will be success in all of this, in bringing love into all of those matters. And what better way to end this reading other than gratitude and surrender? Your guidance is to count your blessings. So always count your blessings. When you say thank you to the universe for its gifts, it responds generously to you. Angel wisdom reminds you to say thank you for all you have. Whenever you say thank you from your heart, more is bestowed on you. Your gratitude is a key to opening the doors to universal abundance. Cultivate an attitude of gratitude and open yourself to receive love and plenty in your life, and your angels will smile on you. An affirmation you could say is, I am grateful for everything in my life. This is a very good affirmation. If you want to receive more, not materialistic objects, stuff like that, but good experiences and happy things. Not good in that way or happy in that way. Just, things that resonate your heart and your soul. It's like, it is in vain. For an example, I'm going to show you an example. It is in vain if I have this phone right here. I know it's an object. I have this phone right here. It's something that I need. Something that most of us uses. Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
I brought gifts.
You brought gifts? Cool. Later. Yeah, and so let's say for an example, like I said, with this phone, it's something that not that I need the most, but I kind of need it. I kind of use it, and let's say it will get damaged. I don't know. It will fall on the ground. It will break itself and all of that kind of stuff. I can't get another one because I don't have money to get another one. Money and all of those kinds of stuff, they work in energy. Like, it's an energy stuff that you give, it comes back. You give, it comes back. Anyhow, it's a stupid planetary solution to human problems. Money. But even so, we will refer to that because it is what is right here, so whatever. You can't get something new if you're still attached to the old stuff and you're not grateful for what you had or what you have. I always wondered how people could eat their food without being grateful to it. I'm always saying to my husband, to my family, and for anything that anybody is offering me something, I always tell them, thank you, and how grateful I am for them. no matter what they give me. Even though sometimes some give me a kick in the ass. I was okay. Thank you. That might return back to you because you give it to me. But thank you. And yeah. Then we have the card surrender. Like I said, nothing is truly it's truly completing itself if we don't surrender to it. Whatever you resist in life persists. Ask your angels to help you dissolve all the resistance of your ego, the inner conflicts and struggle, the rigid mindsets and habits, so they can float your life with higher truth and joy. When you surrender to the guidance of your higher self, all the energy you have been using in resistance becomes available to you. Vitality, inner peace, harmony, and most of all, love and your spiritual rewards. So flow with the pace of life. Relax and tune in. Then follow the guidance of your intuition, knowing that the angels will support you at all times. And the affirmation that you could use is, I surrender to the flow of life. Like I said, acceptance, surrendering. I want you guys to know something. Something that also happened to me. It's a form of experience and also communication from light beings. Certain beings that work in the ray of light, of love, of joy. They always try and be there for people, hoping that no matter, even though the chances are really low, they see the probabilities, you know, because those beings they have access to all of those realms, and they have access to those everything. They see everything that's happening at the same time, and all of that. They see all the timelines and blah blah blah. And even if they see, there is a small percentage that person is going to change in better. They still have hopes. Those light beings, they are still there. They still wait for those to come back to love and to change themselves. They still hope. And they're still there, no matter what. Some may say, and some might be something like, also from those religion indoctrinations and all those kind of stuff, there will be something like, oh no, you will get in hell if you did this, or you will not get in heaven if you did that, or you know, have you had relations with I don't know, your partner before marriage? Like, how could you do that? You will get in hell. Something like that. And I know there are all of those conceptions that are rooted in a really limited view based on religions and certain patterns and behaviors and traditions and all of that kind of stuff. But we need to break those and know that light beings and angels and light angels, they will always stay by your side. They will always guide you. Some may say, yeah, I'm listening to metal and I'm a metal hardcore, I'm an atheist and I don't believe in God. And the angel will still be there for that person. They don't judge him. They will say something like, cool, man. You know, I used to listen to metal. I don't think is music or the sounds that are affecting your vibration. Of course, it could be a possibility, but also the intention that you have when you're listening to that music. I sometimes listen to certain rock songs. I sometimes listen to certain, I don't know, not metal like hardcore or stuff like that, but there are certain melodies, certain songs that sometimes they empower me to fight those dark entities in the lower realm. And I remember clearly And sorry for moving to another subject. With those, we are closing our reading for this following week. Sorry, I forgot to say that. With those messages and surrender, we are closing this um, reading for this following week, and we thank angels and light beings for helping us and delivering those messages. And like I said, what I was talking about earlier, there are certain songs, and they motivate me, like, to stay strong and to have this shield, there are all kinds of limitations and ideas that if you listen to certain music, lower your energy and all that kind of stuff. And my husband used to be a vegan, a lacto-vegetarian. No, sorry, he used to be a lacto-vegetarian, and then I was lacto-vegetarian with him, and he asked me something like, "How could you had?" Or like, sorry for my English mistake, but he was something like, how could you have like all of those in the past? How could you have all of those astral projections and out of body experiences when you were eating all sorts of meat? Like I wasn't eating. I wasn't eating meat from the shop if there was something bad about it. I don't know, certain stuff. But I was eating because we are living at the countryside, and my mother and my parents and my family, they always been with those living and growing up at the countryside. There will always be, they will raise chickens and have access to tomatoes directly from the garden and all sorts of vegetables. And yeah, I agree with that. Eating too much meat lowers the vibration. That's true. Again, it depends as well with the intention. And my husband would ask me, and I told him, like, I used to use like toothpaste. Toothpaste is called? It is called? Yeah. So I used to use that with flour.
Fluoride.
With fluoride. Fluoride is called? Yeah, with fluoride. Yeah, I changed that after living with my husband, and I changed some of my ways because he's more healthy, eating more healthy, using all kinds of natural supplements and all that kind of stuff. And I changed some of the things because of him. But the frequency of my astral projection and of my out-of-body experiences, they didn't change so much. Besides the fact that they lowered in frequency when I've been through a certain time when I was really stressed and doing all sorts of things that I had to do here. Otherwise than that, the frequency of them, it was the same. Like almost every night, my astral projections. And so I realized that it has more to do with the intention, and it isn't something really connected with what we eat or what we have or all of that kind of stuff, but the intention that we put on that. Yes, and that's as well with yeah, that's true. That's as well with the music, with the metal music and all of that kind of stuff. Don't understand me wrong. I don't listen. I used to listen to a band. It's called, when I was a teenager, like he said, I was in my depression time and all of that kind of stuff. And it was around that time period that I was music, dark magic, and doing all kinds of rituals. When I had that experience with that dark entity that I was talking about earlier, And I used to listen to really hardcore metal, like it was a band. Let me search for it on the internet because I don't remember it. What is called? It's scream metal, groove metal, heavy metal. Yeah, something like nihility, those kinds of stuff. So I was listening to really dark stuff because I was in that vibration. I was in that stuff. Right now I have only some few songs that I really listen to sometimes, and like maybe sometimes I listen to metal opera, I think it's called. It's called like that. Not
Light rock? Oh.
not like light rock. That's nothing. That's just plain water. Yeah, and sometimes I listen to, I really like that classic song from Nightwish. I forgot its name. It's so classic that I forgot its name. I'm tired. It's alright. I'm a little bit tired. Let me search it. Nemo. Nemo, I think it's called. It's called Nemo, right? When he says, "I'm the one without a name," something like that. I don't know. It's a classic anyway. Anyhow, some songs from Nightwish are cute. Hello. When I'm saying hello, it remembers me of this episode from Rick and Morty. When Rick was having this girlfriend from another planet, and she was saying like, "Hello," and she was like, "Hello," but she always said that, like she could say something else, like talk and stuff like that, but she will always say like, "Hello." It was his girlfriend. Yeah. Yeah, probably. Probably. My husband asked me that. He was something like, that doesn't happen to me, Like, you can ask him, he's right here. He's a little bit tired from work. Yeah. I tried helping others and tell them like, but they would be like, no, I must eat vegan, and I have nothing, with vegans or stuff like that, and I don't eat meat daily or stuff like that. I try to eat healthy together with my family and as healthy as we can, but in general we're living normal life, and it's not okay to fall in extremes, those that are only, what are those called, that they eat only fruits? Fruitarians.
They live in a tree.
What?
They live in a tree.
They live in a tree?
I'm joking.
They live in a tree and they only eat fruit? They like... Oh my god. Fruitarians. Fruits have sugar. Everything have sugar in it. Sugar is not good. Processed sugar is not good. It's not healthy. That's true. You know. Even so, we need the what is called the glucose. Glucose. Yeah, even so, we need the glucose for the brain because the brain feeds itself from the glucose. So we don't need to fall into extremes. But fruits are healthy again, but you know, not in excessive way. Nothing in excessive way is not. It's not healthy. Having too much meat, too many fruits, too many. Yeah, fruits like are more healthy than juices, because from what I heard, they squeeze the juice from fruits and all the fibers and all of that kind of stuff that we need for our bodies, for our digestion. Is left out, and yeah.
They also boil it, so
What?
they boil the juice.
Who?
Pasteurize it.
Who? The fructarians?
No,
Fructiferians?
the companies.
Ah, the
The
companies.
one you bought from the shop.
I thought the fructiferians. Fructiferians? I forgot they had a name, but I don't remember the exact name. They had a name for eating only fruits, but I forgot the name. I call them from now on fructiferians. Thanks to you, husband. Yeah, true. True. That's true. Yeah, about energy, you know, I have a degree in
Reiki.
I have a degree in gastronomy. In for Reiki, you don't need a degree. You don't need to pay for a course to get a degree for something everybody can do, but can develop.
On this planet you can.
What?
On this planet you can.
Oh my god. You need a diploma for everything. No, I mean, I have a degree in gastronomy and nutrition, so I know some things about health and all that kind of stuff. Even so, to my shame, I gained weight because I was eating lots of lots of cereals. So for an example, there was this time that I gained some weight because not this winter, the other winter, because it was so dark outside and so cold. I was sitting under a blanket and I was eating like cereals, but cereals with no milk. So yeah. So don't eat cereals, kids. Eat them with milk. Even this juice that I'm drinking, it doesn't have. It says it has some vitamins, but it doesn't have like any fiber, which is sad. It would have been better if it had like fibers. And what is the deal with what is called the glucose fructose is called? I believe so. Yeah, fake means. Yeah, just sugar. Like they put this, it's like a poison. They put this in everything. They put it in bread, they put it in everything. So personally, I felt like my energy was a little bit more light and was raising from doing intermittent fasting, but not the so promoted intermittent fasting. Um, and I used to have more powerful astral projections and out of body experiences. So you guys do what you have to do with your stuff. Do how you feel, and if you have like advices from a medic or stuff like that, but a doctor, sorry. But personally, I had lots of good experiences with intermittent fasting and cutting out the bread, the pasta, and those things that, and also the meat, and yeah, eating more like light a little bit. Yeah. I will wait for the day when like they will take out from food all of those things that are affecting us. They use many additives and all kinds of things that are really not okay. And many people they're thinking that it's really hard to like eat salads. Like you don't need to even eat salads like every day or at every meal, or like eat a little bit. Like you can eat many things and not gain weight. Like for an example, if you eat I don't know, there are certain foods, for an example, that you can eat as much as you can until you feel full and you don't gain weight. And also activity, I mean, there are ways to implement um exercises in your schedule. For me, for an example, yeah, I don't like going to the gym and I don't like paying others for something that, I don't know, should be free. But I like going and play badminton with my husband, and I like going play tennis is called. Yeah.
Yep.
And I like going for walks with him, and I like going hiking with him and going search for for crystals and all of that kind of stuff, for minerals or for small rocks and gems. And I believe that people should do things that they are making them feel good about themselves, about their bodies, about, like, nobody's forcing anybody. It's just stupid idea to like, you pay for something to make sport, like to go and run. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, if you are a bodybuilder, and or what is called, and you want to work on your muscle, or you are like a man and you want to like grow your stuff and be more like bulky and stuff, like, but that's just feeding again the ego, because you don't need to do that to. And there are those limited ideas that you need to do that to look more good, more pretty, or more, I don't know. And like, no, you need to do that to feel good in your body. You need to do that to feel healthy, to be healthy, because there might come a time that you need to run. Run as fast as you can. I don't know. What if a dog is chasing you to bite you? To bite your ass. You need to run. And you need to run as fast as you can. And yeah. So people should do like things that make them feel good about themselves, about their bodies. Even dancing. Dancing is such a freeing thing. Yeah, I don't know. And personally, I never fit in those patterns that girls should be like, and women should be, I don't know, either skinny or. Now it was this wave with Kim Kardashian, since the Kim Kardashian was the Kim Kardashians with their big stuff. And it was this wave, and that all girls wanted to be like them and to look like them. And I was like, why would you want to be like that? Like, every woman and every girl could and be pretty if they are themselves. Like, you don't need fake chest, you don't need fake stuff. All you need is to be yourself. To be yourself and to love yourself and have fun, Not to do that just to show off and to feed in their ego. A woman is the prettiest when she's being herself. Not obese extreme. Sorry. It's not a laughing matter. No, this is not a laughing matter, because it's about health, and those people really have an issue. Yeah. Not being, one extreme or another extreme, but being themselves. And a woman is the prettiest when she's loving herself and she's receiving love and she's giving love, because that's the feminine energy, and also detached from that toxic traits and cycles that they keep happening over and over again between females and males and other stuff that are happening right now on the planet. It's okay to explore, it's okay to love yourself, it's okay to find yourself the way you are and find what you resonate with. But it's not okay to hurt another, And like I said, a woman is pretty. It's really beautiful when she's in contact with her energy, with her power, with her pouring energy, with divinity. And it's a toxic cycle that is happening between people, hurting each other, hating on each other. He's cheating, I'm cheating, I'm cheating, he's cheating, they are cheating, I don't know. People not communicating about things, and they're just basically exactly hating themselves. Yes, exactly, you are right. Hurting another is hurting yourself. And hurting yourself is hurting another. You must understand how this is projecting and how all of this is a mirror. Yeah. And also, man, it's really beautiful and really awesome. I don't know. For an example, I'm watching to my husband, and he is, for me, he's like a god. For me, even though others don't seem like that, because he is in tune with his energy, with his male energy, because he's protective, he's kind, and I don't know, it's his overall energy and the way he talks with another person and the way he's behaving and the way he's really loving and kind and compassionate with everyone. And he's really in contact with his energy. And a male is really beautiful. It's radiating his aura, like so strong, so powerful, so protective. It gives off that energy of like, I can keep you safe. I can take care of this. I can handle this. When he's in tune with his energy, and he's compassionate and he's loving and caring and all of that kind of stuff. And see how all of this is about love? It's not about the looks. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Maybe someday humans generally, people will wake up from this egoistical pattern and dream, and they will rise up and understand that we are more than this, and there are some certain things that they don't even matter that much. Yeah, that's true. Being in tune with our soul, that's very true. A person is radiating uh, a person is radiating beautiful energy and aura and vibe from their soul, not from their looks. And those that are focusing on their looks, they are not in tune with their soul, with their energy. Yeah, I understand. Many, maybe many women, they didn't receive enough love and they hate themselves. And until then, they need to wake up and realize, you know, we don't need another's validation for how we look. We don't need others' validation to feel loved. We need to be happy with ourselves. We need to do the things that makes us happy. We need to be in tune with our soul song. And that's why they abuse their stuff, and they fall into this ugliness thing. They detach themselves from being natural, from being themselves, their true selves, not what is presented to be. Yeah, going within, that's true. Going within, we find everything that we need. Also, yeah, this beauty standard, it just depends on how people are seeing things and their perspectives and all of that kind of stuff. But I believe that a woman, and personally, a woman is more beautiful, and also a man is more beautiful when it's being who they are, natural, with less makeup, less fancy stuff, just themselves. Like, I wonder if we were to strip naked all of those people that they are so rich, what they will be left with? Nothing. Just nothing. Just an empty shell. Nothing. Because they will have nothing to give, nothing to show. now I imagine those leaders, that they are so fat and they're like and they are so mean, and they wake up with this and they're like blah, 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 blah. And they wake up, those leaders, they wake up in the morning and they're really, really fat, and they wake up like, and like, let's lead this country. Yeah. It could be a possibility. Yeah, people are more beautiful when they are allowed to be. Uh, who to allow them to be? I mean, no matter what others are saying for you to be or not to be allowed, it's still your choice. But even so, paradoxically, it's still 50% not your choice. So yeah, it is true in a way, I guess. Because many times we are very limited by the system and all of those kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, what I mean by those that I'm saying is that people are more beautiful when they radiate that loving, kind energy, that inner light. They become like they have this divine aura around them, and they are so beautiful. I don't know, but personally I find very attractive like all of those beings that radiate energy, and I many times felt in love and felt really like aroused with entities, with light beings that I meet in the astral realm and on the other high realms. Not because of their looks, because many times they will be like those beings that they didn't had any like physical aspect but only a form of energy, and I was like okay. I'm melted now. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Exactly. So what we would be if we didn't had like those shells? Like we'll still be the way that we are right now? I don't think so. I don't think so. Many would be really really awful, really ugly, and many would be like divine. Yeah, or manifestation of our inner children. True, exactly. Free. True. True. That energy, it's beautiful, it's divine, it's wonderful. It's melting. I had this experience in the astral realm with, again, with a being that was radiating this like sun energy, and it was like surrounding me, and it was full of love, full of light, and really wonderful. Yeah. Anyhow, I think that's it for today. I'm going to go and reshape a little bit the codes, and you guys will find it to download from my X profile. So uh, later, or maybe even tomorrow, I think it's better tomorrow. Go ahead and check my X profile, and you will find them right there to be downloaded. Um, those pictures in a better quality, and I also add a little bit of color here and there, and it will be available for download from my X profile. Um, I think tomorrow, maybe, I don't know, but tomorrow is the safest to check for them, and they will be available for around 48 hours, something like that. So, yeah. Okay, I thank you as well for participating in the chat, and I will see you next Monday with this stuff. Otherwise, I will try and remake my schedule on Twitch and see what I can do with games that I want to play, and some interesting things that I want to see, I want to watch. Okay, so thank you everyone, and I'll see you next week with this, and have a great week and everything else. Again, thank you for participating in the live chat. Okay. Cool. Okay, I'll see about that. Okay. Goodbye. See you.